evening on the World News Tonight from BGI Television. First, the headlines. FG has a duty to control prices of commodities, Falano. NAN's appeal to NLC-TUC to shelve proposed strike. We will destroy vessels caught stealing crude oil, Nigeria Army warns. Agitation for Oduduwa Republic Thickens as Yoruba movement set to form Constituent Assembly. On sports, Shetima leads presidential delegation to Agitation for the final between Super Eagles and the Elephant of Cote d'Ivoire. I am Morire Rabida Lawal. The news in detail. The Nigerian government has a duty to intervene decisively on behalf of the majority of the people by enforcing price control mechanisms that protect citizens from exploitation as envisaged under the Price Control Act. This is the view of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, who believes that this is necessary to guarantee that the economy of the country is concentrated in the hands of few. Falana, who spoke on an interview Shola against the background of his recent lawsuit against the federal government over failure to control rising prices of essential commodities. The Bola Tinubu administration has said that there is food in abundance in Nigeria. I think the Minister of Information made that statement a couple of days ago. But we have a situation where majority of the people cannot afford the prices that have gone to the roof. He argued that while affluent citizens can cope with spiraling inflation, most ordinary Nigerians have been priced out of accessing basic commodities under the current laissez-faire regime, hence the urgent need for government intervention based on extant laws. The senior advocate also questioned why electricity tariffs, telecom rates and petrol pump price could be moderated via subsidies, while other essentials like food, medicines and diesel were allowed to rise astronomically, thereby eroding people's purchasing power. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has appealed to the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, to suspend their proposed strike in the interest of the nation. Mr. Pedro Obi, NAN's national president, appealed to news conference in Abeokuta on Saturday. The information report that NLC and TUC had on February 8 issued a 14-day nationwide strike notice to the government over the failure to implement the agreement reached on October 2nd following the removal of fuel subsidy. Obi noted that the association shared in its pains Nigerians are experiencing, especially the youth and the students community, over the current action. He explained that the association was of the strong belief that the planned strike, if embarked on, would further worsen the economic crisis in the country. The NANS president added that the labor unions had the right to make demands and embark on strike to drive on their point, but appealed for reconsideration of the decision. He urged them to take into consideration the potential impact on insecurity, economy, and more importantly, the academic progress of students across the nation. The Nigerian Army has vowed to destroy an arrested vessel, Arbor Spirits, suspected of crude oil theft in line with laid down rules of engagement. The Army added that all arrested crew members on board the vessel would be evacuated to Abuja for investigation by the Defense Intelligence. Commander of the Nigerian Army 63 Brigade, Brigadier General Ugochukwu Vitus Unachukwu, said these when members of the House of Representative Committee on Crude Oil Theft visited and inspected two arrested vessels, MK Kali and Arbor Spirits, allegedly with stolen crude. Brigadier General Unachukwu said the federal government has resolved to stamp out oil theft, saying we will pursue it to logical conclusion. He warned oil thieves to the disease from the heinous crimes, saying the nation needs the revenue coming from the sector. Brigadier General Unachukwu said that the vessel and all crew members on board were arrested by operative of 10 Security Services in collaboration with the armed forces. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives Committee on Crude Oil Theft urged the arrested crew members on board the Arbor Spirit to cooperate with relevant security agencies to prove their innocence. The agitation for the Oduduwa Republic has taken a new dimension following the plans by the Yoruba Revolutionary Movement, Yorum, to put in place a Constituent Assembly in preparation for secession from Nigeria. Information reports, as were disclosed by the National Coordinator of Yorum, Comrade Bali Balogun, during a press conference held in Lagos on the state of the nation. The group stated that the ugly incident and experience of the Yoruba within the failed Nigeria state necessitated the clarion call for peaceful dissolution of Nigeria, which emanated from the annulment of 12 June 1993 presidential election and the struggle to end the military rule and actualize the people's mandate, which culminated to the birth of Yoruba self-determination groups during the protracted struggle. He stated that the conference will provide opportunity to articulate the socio-political order to govern the sovereign Yoruba nation because the struggle for self-determination is also for the social emancipation of the people. He called on all Yorubas, both at home and in diaspora, to rise up to the challenge to protect and defend Yoruba people and their land against internal Fulani colonizers because their political leaders comprising the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, governors, National and State Assembly appear to have failed the Yoruba. Moving on to the next story. Operative of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command attached to Rapid Response Squad 74 have arrested the pastor Simon Kado, his relative J.C. Simon Kado, and their driver Mohammed Isa for child trafficking. They were busted on Friday while trafficking 12 underage children, 8 girls and 4 boys, aged between 5 to 16 years from Nasarawa State to Ogun State. The FCT Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, made the development known in a statement today. Operative of the command intercepted one Mohammed Isa, male of Kafanchan, Kaduna State, in a Toyota Ice bus with registration number APP 489XE, conveying 4 male and 8 female underage children to destination later discovered to be in Ogun State. The preliminary investigation revealed that the children, whose ages are between 5 years to 16 years, all from Apanga, LGA, Nasarawa State, were being trafficked back to Ogun State by one Pastor Simon Kado, male, and J.C. Simon Kado, male, who are now presently in police custody. The FCT has been experiencing the assault and kidnapping and bandit attacks lately. Moving on to the next story. The family of the late singer Ilerioluwa Aloba, aka Mohbad, has denied alleged attempt on the life of the deceased widow, Wumi. Wumi had reportedly raised the alarm that her late husband's family was after her life and that of her son, Liam. She was also said to have received strange calls from people threatening her to speak seeking justice for the soul of her late husband. The family, in a statement on Friday evening through its legal team, however, described the allegation as sensitive while urging her to disclose the identity of who among them made the threat. The statement signed by a member of the legal team, Monisola Odumusu, further noted that the family is not in any position to threaten the widow of their late son, notwithstanding the unsettled issues on the paternity of their grandchild. As the legal team conducts in competent bro patio qui deceit nor qui negate, he who asserts must prove. If seeking for truth about who killed their late son, Ilerioluwa Aloba, is a threat to her, she should let the Nigerian public know. And to the next story on the world news. The Ogun State Sector Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps on Saturday issued a traffic alert to the motoring public disclosing the complete blockage of Otadiroko Road in the Adodo, Ota local government area of the state. The gridlock was said to have been caused by multiple crashes, including a truck, 2 tricycles, and a car on the Iju River Bridge. The car was said to have plunged into the river. Operatives of the FRC and other security agencies are said to be on ground, managing the situation while a crane for the rescue operation is being awaited. The spokesperson for the Ogun FRC Sector Command, Florence Okwe, disclosed these in a statement made available to journalists. Otadiroko Road is blocked while the small car is plunged into the river. A crane is already mobilized to the scene, which effort is also on to remove the car from the river. Otadiroko Road is completely blocked. And to the next story, 2 students of Kogi State Polytechnic, Lokoja, have died after inhaling fumes from a power generating set placed close to the window of the apartment overnight. The State Police Public Relations Officer SP William Owe Aya confirmed this in a telephone interview with correspondents on ground. Aya disclosed that the deceased were identified as Bilikisu Eleojo, 20 years old, and Ibrahim Aliru. According to him, the generating set was placed close to the window of the victims. They slept off and died before daybreak. The lifeless body of the doll were reportedly recovered in the room by neighbors in the early hours of Thursday. When just left inside their room, the generator set was switched on close to the window of the apartment. They all stepped off and inhaled carbon monoxide as a result of the generating set that was switched on. From that story to the foreign within Africa. Madagascar Justice Minister defended a new bill Friday to castrate child rapists, with the measure deemed cruel, inhuman, and degrading by Amnesty International. The Upper House Senate approved the measure permitting chemical and surgical castration Wednesday after it had been voted through by the National Assembly earlier this month. Amnesty International urged Antananarivo to drop the proposed law, saying it would not resolve the problem of pedophilia. But Justice Minister Landi Umbolatiana told AFP that the large Indian Ocean island is a sovereign country that has every right to amend its laws. Faced with the resurgence of rape, we had to act, she added, saying there were 600 rapes of minors recorded last year. Up to now, the minimum sentence for child rape was 5 years imprisonment, the minister added. The bill, seen by AFP, introduces the penalty of surgical castration for perpetrators of rape committed on a child under the age of 10. It allows chemical or surgical castration for rapists of children aged between 10 and 13, and chemical castration for rapists of minors aged 13 and 18. Finally, sport. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed Vice President Kashim Shettima to lead a presidential delegation to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. This was made in a statement by Stanley Nkwacha, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President. Information reported that Super Eagles will take on host Cote d'Ivoire in a rematch at the Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Abidjan on Sunday. According to Nkwacha, the match will rekindle the memories of Nigeria's 1-0 victory against the host in the group stage, secured through Captain William Truth's second penalty. Before we end world news, let's have some updates as regards the headlines. FG has a duty to control prices of commodities. NANS appeal to NLC TUC to shall propose strike. We will destroy vessels caught stealing crude oil. Agitation for Oduduwa Republic Thickens as Yoruba movement set to form Constituent Assembly. FCT police arrest pastors, orders for child trafficking. On sports, Shettima leads presidential delegation to Abuja. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Babagagede Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawa.